Welcome back. The University of Dayton making a big push for the environment, announcing today it's following Catholic social teachings and divesting coal and fossil fuels from its $607 million investment pool. Dayton is the first Catholic university to do this, and the school has a plan that it won't be the last. It's also the latest college to go green because last month Stanford vowed to stop investing in coal companies. So for more on this now, we're joined exclusively by Daniel Curran, who is president of the University of Dayton. Welcome.
Hi, Kelly. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Look, this is a big deal, not just because you guys have a big pot of money here, but also because others may follow in your wake. So do you think then it's inconsistent with Catholic teachings to invest in coal and fossil fuel production?
Well, I thought you look at the comments of the U.S. Catholic bishops, there's certainly been a trend as late as last month to say that it's very important for us as Catholic institutions to be thinking about the environment, to be thinking about the impact of climate on many populations, and most significantly the impoverished population. So I think that's, very significant for us at the Catholic University. And this year, Pope Francis even commented at Catholic Peace Day that we should be thinking about the environment, that we were stewards of the earth.
Understood. I think, though, at the same time, there are a lot of responses saying this is overly broad, that obviously if you wanted to divest from fossil fuel production, you'd have to include pretty much every U.S. industry.
Well, I would agree with that, and that's why the process took so long. We were looking at this for more than a year. And the conversation really began around socially responsible investing and what we should be doing to meet our mission. And again, we already had many screens on our investment portfolio, and this came to the forefront because of the fact that it was a concern for the nation, for the world, and for our students. And so our board looked at this seriously for a year. And I wouldn't disagree with you. You could take this throughout the economy, but this is a very focused approach. And again, looking at about 200 companies that we think, that we know hold most of the resources in this area, the reserves.
We did ask the former Shell president, John Hofmeister, earlier in the show. He's long been pushing for more investment in fuels in this country. What he thought about this plan, just take a quick listen.
If they want their endowment to suffer the loss of economic gain, that's their choice. That's their prerogative.
And so, Daniel, he's clearly not in favor of this. What's your response to that?
My response would be, if you look closely at our endowment or most endowments, again, we're talking about less than 5% of our endowment, $35 million out of $670 million. When we went into this discussion, there were certainly members of our investing committee who felt we had to do our due diligence. So over the course of a year, we took our time and we asked about screens, and we came, after a year's deliberation, to the position that we thought this 5%, less than 5%, we could place alternative investments in there, some of them being green, some of them being renewable, where we would not see a significant difference in the return. So we're very comfortable with this, especially in light of the fact that when we look at our mission, we think we should be going in this direction. So I understand the argument. We did our due diligence. We believe we have a path that can move us forward. And I can tell you, certainly we challenged our financial advisors at every level. There was not consensus at the beginning of this process. It took a long time and a lot of investigation. And so I have heard that argument. It's thwarted often. But we're in a position at the University of Dayton of thinking that we can move forward down a path to, again, divest first in our domestic equities and then looking at international and then looking at other funds that could do this in a sensible way, in a way that meets our fiduciary responsibilities. And again, it was a long process.
Yeah, is that other Catholic institutions will follow? Because we're talking about billions and billions of endowment money that's potentially at stake.
Well, I think that every university has to look at this, in its own way. Certainly with Catholic universities, there's a challenge of being mission-driven. And again, I'm aware of many Catholic universities that are involved in this discussion already. And by the way, many other faith-based organizations are having the same discussion. This is not a cookie-cutter plan. I mean, we put a lot of time into this. We would hope that we would be able to help other institutions as they have this discussion. Some will do it, some won't. But the fact is, it's clearly an issue that's emerged in higher education and in Catholic higher education.
And how much of this pressure is coming from students? Is that why you felt the need to respond?
Actually, there was not pressure from our students, other than the fact that our students are very involved in sustainability issues. We have students that major at the graduate level on renewable energy. We have sustainability clubs. We have many students looking at the environment in different ways. So this was not an orchestrated protest. This was just the fact that our students care about the environment, that they're asking the right questions, and it was becoming a significant part of their education. So no, there was not a student protest, although I already know that so many students support this issue about protecting the earth. So ours was basically around the discussion in our investment committee and our board about what we should be doing to live up to our mission. And again, this is a very focused approach to this, because again, as you commented earlier, this could go all the way through the economy. But these 200 corporations do hold a major segment of the reserves, and again, do have, we believe, a social responsibility. But we're realistic about our approach.
Daniel Kern, we'll leave it there for now. Again, the president of the University of Dayton as they move away from supporting fossil fuels. Thank you so much for being here.